Hey, how are you? Slice of Otaku, and although not explicitly stated due to the alternate extended theme song playing instead, it would seem as though even White Diamond was oblivious to the corruption crisis, which for me at least was a little bit disappointing. The ignorance of Yellow and Blue was acceptable to me at the time only under the pretense that White Diamond was very aware of what she had done, as it was her true intention and punishment, which all the while seemed to line up with her character. And so now we kind of find ourselves in a predicament where White Diamond is presented as both this shrewd and perceptive figure, but somehow also not very informed at all, and it's kind of weird. Yellow and Blue don't even seem to be capable of recognizing Steven to be partially human, whereas White Diamond was somehow able to assess as much at a mere glimpse. She's also able to chillingly dissect the negative character traits of our main cast of Crystal Gems without ever having any proper exposure to them. She refers to this as being written all over their gems, serving to imply a deep understanding of the species only possessed by a superior being such as herself. Yet, somehow, I'm intended to believe that corruption was an oversight on her part and completely unintentional. I'm supposed to believe that the diamonds outstretched their hands towards Earth in a combined attack, having no idea what the results would be, all the while never seeking confirmation despite embedding and maintaining the cluster for millennia. Yeah, I don't know about that. And so I'm just left wondering if this is the case simply because it would be easier to redeem them as characters. I certainly don't mind the diamonds being made into proper characters over the course of the series with perceivable emotions and histories, but this whole pat on the back with a stern talking to mantra is a bit much in their case. I'm down to see them recognize their faults and put in the work to make amends for the countless millennia of their wrongdoing, but leaving them to their own vices to sort things out on their own with absolutely no guidance is a bit much for me. Like, White Diamond even monologues about her own perfection and boasts about being the source of everything. Meanwhile, when she and the other diamonds encounter the off-colors, they are all genuinely afraid. They are fearful of defective gems, which makes not a sliver of sense to me because where do you think mass propaganda originates from? From those in power. We've received our fair share of homeworld propaganda over the course of the series, and now with this display, it would seem as though the diamonds had no part in any of that, having simply bought into the ignorance despite never truly listening to anyone they perceive to be lesser beings. But after seeing White Diamond go on and on about flawed gems, going as far as to whitewash a bunch of characters, it all becomes pretty contradicting. And that display of fear isn't even just on one occasion. Yellow and Blue are viscerally repulsed by the sight of an off-colored White Diamond, despite them both knowing her quite well, as if she was carrying the plague or something. Typically, Steven Universe, if nothing else, is clever with its messaging and representation, as there's even certain underlying themes with this arc that personally resonated with me quite a lot. But this is just messy and contradictory to prior information. I think the diamonds are interesting and well-designed characters. However, the whole space Nazi thing doesn't just get washed away because they decided to listen to an empathetic family member. And you know, I've seen my fair share of Steven Universe has no villains comments, but that's writing 101, sweetheart. Making a villain an actual character, that's the basics. Unless your intention is to make a trope of a character, you're not gonna have your antagonist laugh maniacally in their big chair while stroking a cat. And if you don't think the continuous eradication of life forms across the cosmos under the pretense of superiority and an arbitrary lust for conquest based on expansion makes a character villainous, then I don't know what to tell you. And I wish I could believe that homeworld propaganda stems from elsewhere and will be dealt with at some point in the future, but I just can't based on the words of White Diamond and everything we know about homeworld. Homeworld is presented to be this machine of a society built upon efficiency and objectivity, making it pretty simple to understand why the rejection of one's idiosyncrasies would be so widespread and prevalent. But nah, that was all just an accident like corruption. But anyways guys, give me your thoughts on all of this in the comments. Do you think there's a bit of backtracking going on for the sake of making the diamonds more acceptable, or is this all just an oopsie? Thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.